Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the magical world of underrated anime that deserve way more love. And trust me, if you're sick of the same old top 10 shounen battles that leave you crying, stick around. I've got some hidden gems that'll completely blow your mind. These anime might not be on everyone's radar, but they absolutely should be. So grab your snacks because some of these picks might just surprise you as much as finding out your 4th grade crush actually liked pineapple on pizza. Laughs. Yep, it's one of those moments. Alright, let's get into it. Number 6. The greatest demon lord is reborn as a typical nobody. Imagine this. Humanity's greatest heroes have just defeated the ultimate boss, like the final boss. Picture everyone coming together, taking a group selfie with the big bad, and then, poof, he's gone. The world's saved, right? But here's the twist. Now that the greatest threat is gone, these overpowered heroes are just standing around, twiddling their thumbs. They've got nothing to do. So, what do? They start fighting each other, obviously. With no villains left to defeat, they all decide to brawl to see who's the strongest of them all. It's like if the Avengers saved the world and then immediately started a wrestling match for bragging rights. Each hero brings their own set of insane skills, magic powers, dramatic flair, and egos the size of planets. From muscle-bound warriors to mages who can rewrite reality if they could stop arguing. It's a total mess, and it's a blast to watch. Number 5. Super Crooks. Next up, we've got Super Crooks. What happens when a bunch of wannabe supervillains get tired of getting their butts kicked by superheroes? Well, they decide to go international. Enter Johnny Bolt, a guy with electric powers, and even more electric bad luck. After failing yet another heist and spending way too much time in prison, Johnny realizes it's time for a fresh start. So what does he do? He rounds up his quirky crew and heads to Europe for one last totally foolproof heist. Now, this gang is far from your usual criminal masterminds. They're like the JV team of supervillains, more likely to trip over their own capes than pull off anything remotely successful. There's a mind reader who mostly reads dirty thoughts, a guy who can multiply but loses track of himself, and a guy called the Ghost who's great at being invisible when things go wrong. Their big plan? Rob the world's most untouchable crime lord. You know, the kind of guy who's got the temperament of a grizzly bear with a toothache. Genius, right? What could possibly go wrong? Laughs. It's a wild ride of ridiculous schemes, epic facepalms, and team dynamics that'll have you wondering if they're actually in it for the money or just the laughs. Number 4. Sirius the Jaeger. Next, we've got Sirius the Jaeger, and let me tell you, this one's a wild ride. It's set in a world where Yuli, a brooding werewolf with a tragic backstory, and let's not forget, perfect hair, goes on a mission to hunt vampires. But here's the thing. He teams up with the Jaegers, a group of vampire hunters who travel around Japan disguised as an orchestra. Why? Because who would suspect vampire hunters to be carrying violins and cellos, right? They've got this sleek train that doubles as their mobile vampire hunting headquarters, complete with gadgets, monster-slaying gear, and yes, even the occasional musical number. Their main goal is to find the Ark of Sirius before the vampires do. Imagine, capture the flag, but instead of a flag, it's a dangerous, mystical relic that everyone wants for their own reasons. With fast-paced chases, epic slow-motion action, and enough brooding to fill a gothic novel, Sirius the Jaeger is the perfect mix of action and drama. Number 3. Insomniacs After School. If you're looking for something a little different, check out Insomniacs After School. This one follows 2 high schoolers who bond over their mutual hatred of sleep, or rather, their inability to actually get any. Meet Ganta Nakami, a guy who's allergic to sleep and social interaction, and Isaki Magari, a girl who's basically nocturnal, but without the cool ability to turn her head all the way around like an owl. Both of them are wide awake when everyone else is off in dreamland. One day, they stumble upon the school's abandoned observatory and turn it into their secret hangout. It's their little safe space where they avoid boring lectures, share stories, and try not to fall asleep mid-sentence. The show is a quirky blend of buddy comedy and existential crisis. It's about finding your people, even if those people are just as tired and weird as you are. If you've ever been sleep-deprived and wondered about the mysteries of the universe while munching on snacks at 3 a.m., you'll totally get this. Number 2. Darker Than Black. Now let's talk about Darker Than Black. This anime is set in a world where mysterious gates appear, one in Tokyo, another in South America. These gates bring about contractors, people who develop strange and powerful abilities. But here's the catch. Each contractor has to do something really weird and specific to maintain their powers. Enter Hei, aka the Black Reaper. He's a contractor with the power to control electricity and an appetite that could put a teenage boy to shame. Seriously, he's always wearing that dark trench coat to hide all the snacks he's hoarding. Hei works as a mass vigilante, but things aren't easy when your best friend is a talking cat and your job involves saving the world or doing shady stuff. Honestly, it's hard to tell sometimes. What makes this anime unique is the contractors' prices. They each have to pay a personal cost for using their powers. It's a mix of action, conspiracy, and the kind of moral ambiguity that keeps you on the edge of your seat. Number 1. Dororo. And finally, Dororo, a classic manga by Osamu Tezuka, adapted into an anime in 2019. This series is a masterpiece, mixing a vintage feel with modern animation, and it'll hit you right in the feels. We follow Hayakamaru, a samurai born with no limbs, no face, and no senses, thanks to his father making a desperate deal with demons for power. Yeah, it's pretty wild. But as Hayakamaru hunts down the demons who took his body parts, he forms an unlikely bond with a scrappy little street kid named Dororo. This anime is a journey of revenge, friendship, and of course, epic epic sword fights. But more than that, it tackles deep themes like identity, what it means to be human, and the constant battle between good and evil. Hyakkimaru isn't just trying to reclaim his body, he's trying to find his soul. It's philosophical, emotional, and definitely a must-watch. That's it for today's list, folks. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification